Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 5th, 2023 work session of the Town of Ossining. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm going to go into my announcements. This Thursday at noon, there's a Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day right here at 16 Croton Avenue, Village Hall at noon. And the menorah lighting and rescheduled tree lighting will be that evening, Thursday, December 7th, starting at 6 p.m. at Market Square. There will be latkes and hot chocolate and lots of fun for everybody. There is a winter coat drive going on now, with collection points at the Padres Hispanos Family Resource Center, located at 109 Croton Avenue, and the Bethany Arts community. They're collecting coats, jackets, hoodies, hats, mittens, and gloves. Great news, the Westchester County Beeline buses will be free for all residents December 16th to January 1st. Westchester County Job Fair will be held at the Westchester County Center in White Plains on January 18th and February 8th. Oh, and April 30th. Westchester County has a grant program available to assist with the removal of lead-based paint from homes in the county. For more information, please search Lead Safe Westchester. If you need help with your winter utility bills, please go to the New York State Department of Public Service at www.dps/ny.gov/winter. The Ossining Boat and Canoe Club's annual toy drive with drop-off boxes located at the following locations: Mike Risco Music School, Penny and Ting Toy Store, Hudson Valley Books for Humanity, Ossining Post Office on Main Street, Sing Sing Kill Brewery, Ossining Volunteer Ambulance Corps, Ossining Fire Department Headquarters on State Street, Here Coffee and Beer in the train station parking lot, Fred's Auto Body on North State Road, Value Drug in Briarcliff, and the Ossining Elks Club in Croton Avenue. As always, our Ossining Public Library will be hosting a bunch of events, including laser tag, book groups, films, and more. Please see their website at ossininglibrary.org for more information. Eden's Echo, an AI suspense thriller, is being performed at the Westchester Collaborative Theater December 8th, 9th, and 10th. Hudson Valley Books for Humanity is hosting a special music and dance performance with Carmine and Friends on December 9th from 6 to 8 p.m. Sing Sing Kill Brewery still hosts the NFL Sundays every Sunday throughout the season. And the mobile food pantry at the Ossining Police Station is open one more time this year on December 12th. Do any of my board colleagues have any announcements? No. Nope. Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move into the departmental report with our tax receiver, Holly Perlowitz. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
Move it.
Thank you. Okay, good evening, everybody. Now you can hear me. Martha's going to pull up for us the schedule of just what our outstanding taxes look like, and I'll walk you through it really quickly. So far for the 2023 town and county taxes, we've collected 99.3%, so we are almost there. I have to remind you, or maybe not, but I remind myself all the time, my goal every month is to make sure that I collect in each active category. So right now, there's the town and county, the school, as well as our liens, and we meet that objective every month. So payments are still coming in for that. The school tax collection, the first half was due by actually October 2nd, because September 30th was on a Saturday. I have to say, we stayed open on that Saturday, and I was happy to see that people are reading my email blast and people actually showed up, which was great, and a good thing for me to see, so that every time it happens that way, we will open on a weekend. Second half is also coming in. So as of now, for our first half, we've collected 98.5% of the warrant, and you can see we're also collecting the second half right now. And I have to say that December ends up being a fairly busy month, because a lot of people like to keep their life on a calendar year, even though the second half isn't due until January. In addition, people are just calling for information as they sort of wrap up the year. It's crazy to think we're wrapping up 2023, but we are. In our liens, we currently have approximately 6 million in outstanding liens. Of course, the vast majority is from the last 2 years, but overall, 51%, just to give you perspective, 51% of the outstanding is from 4 different properties, 3 of which are commercial. One is a very large residential property. And even so, those are, we get lien payments all the time. We send out notices, and sometimes that results in people coming in to pay, and we also remind them of services to help in the area, just so that they keep in mind that there are some more counseling kinds of services to help people figure out what to do if they're very severely delinquent in their taxes. We do currently have 7 active payment plans, all performing and all paying as expected. So that's about it. Other than any questions you may have.
Thank you.
As always, I want to thank you for making people happy to come to the tax office, even if they're sorry. I just want to thank you for making people smile when they come to the tax office, even though they're not necessarily thrilled for why they're there. But we get a lot of compliments for you and the rest of the staff.
Thank you. Patty and Aaron are wonderful. And we try to make people happy. We even provide chocolate.
They do have a bowl of chocolate.
We do. So thank you, and happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
And we're all very excited for Chili Day that's upcoming in a couple of days, of course.
Okay, is Bill Garrison with us?
I am here.
Hi, Bill.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
So
I hear you that well, Bill.
you can't hear me that well?
No, you're very, very low.
Is this any better?
Eh?
Little we can barely hear you. Sorry.
Let me sign off and try to get back on and see if that works, okay?
That's a little
Okay.
better. Wait, that was better.
That was better?
Yes.
Yes.
This is good.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. We've got a couple special events coming up this Thursday on December 7th. We are doing a menorah lighting and tree lighting at 6 p.m. at Market Square. It's the first time that we are combining those 2 events together. So we're very excited about that. It looks like it's going to be a weather-wise, a good night with no rain, but a little bit chilly, but we hope everybody will come out. There's going to be hot chocolate and coffee and cookies. So it should be a good night. We also have the Santa breakfast, which is at the community center. This typically gets about 300 kids and their families coming in. And that is 2 sessions that people can sign up for. It's a free, and that's going to be on this coming Saturday. We've got some good news going on with some pool renovations that are going on at the community center. Everything is going forward right now. We are planning on having the pool open early January. So we have registration open for some swim lessons and swim programs. If we need to push it out, we have the flexibility of doing so. But we hope that we'll be ready first or second week in January to start doing the swimming again. The pool locker rooms will not be available at that time because they're going to take longer. So we're planning on having trailer locker rooms and showers. Of course, they will be heated, so they will be available for people, as well as some changing areas inside the pool area. So we're excited about that. We're also excited that the contracts for the DRI for the renovations in the community center have been sent to us, and we're looking to hopefully go in the early part of 2024 out for design. And that's going to be exciting because we're going to want everybody involved in that to give their ideas to architects, and so that we can come up with a great plan and hopefully get construction going maybe at the end of 24 or early 2025 to make those renovations inside the community center. Our winter programming is open for registration. Those programs are going to start in January. We've got a number of programs going on, including the pickleball, as always, the art center, which is becoming more and more popular. As you know, right now, the art center is not having classes there because of the power lines that came down on Thanksgiving Day. But hopefully, I was over there today talking with some of the workers, and hopefully by the end of the week that we'll have power restored over there and we get back into that facility next week. In the parks, right now the parks guys are very busy getting the leaves up, getting the fields prepared for the end of for the winter. Recreation Advisory Board met last night. One thing that probably should be mentioned is that the Briarcliff Manor Little League, which is a youth sports organization, which is not an organization that is currently recognized by the Recreation Advisory Board, came to our meeting last night and spoke. They are going to be putting in an application to become a youth sports organization and meet all the same standards that the other youth sports organizations in the village and the town currently do. So we're excited about that, and what that's going to bring in 2024. So right now that's it. Other than that, we are looking forward to the winter. We'll be working on getting camp ready, which is like a 12-month-a-year process, but we'll start having camp registration probably end of the winter, early spring. But we start thinking about camp right on January. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm just trying to picture people going from the pool to the trailer outside.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's going to be a warmer winter, but what we are planning is we're going to have tents with walls
Charge Jesse.
and heat in those tents so that it won't be totally freezing. But again, it's not going to be ideal. If people remember though, and I'm going to remind people of this all the time, during COVID, we did not use the locker rooms, and people were able to manage and still come swimming. So I think we can manage for a month or two while we don't have the locker rooms.
I'm sure you can. I have faith, and I'm excited to see the new pool and the changes that are being made. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. I'm excited about it as well.
All right, Matt, you had a question?
No, I just wanted to thank Bill.
Okay. All right. Well, we look
Thank you.
forward to getting ready for the next season.
All right. Well, thank you and have a nice night, everyone.
You too. All right. Next, we have a presentation by our Auctioning Chamber of Commerce President, Gail Marchica. And she's got presents. coming that way? Yeah, she's got 2, 3.
Thanks for having me, everybody. It's good to see you all. Liz had asked me to come by and talk a little bit about the Chamber of Commerce. And
Just tighten it on the side.
to talk a little bit about the Chamber of Commerce and a little bit about River Jam and some of the things we're doing. And Martha, at the end of this, if you would like to share the presentation and share the list of the chamber accomplishments, I'd appreciate it. Because I think it's worth a second read as you're going through tomorrow or want to catch up on things. But we do a great deal of work, not only for the business community, but also for the community at large. And a little bit about the chamber. We are this year 78 years old here in Ossining, founded in 1945. And of course, the chamber, like any other organization, has gone through a great deal of changes, depending upon the times, depending upon the economy, and certainly depending upon regentrification. And we're going through a lot of changes right now with the DRI, as well as other people stepping up and wanting to become more involved, which is a really good thing. To have differences in opinion is good. It makes for intelligent conversation. I think we all want the same things. Sometimes how we get there is a little controversial to each other, but I think eventually we do reach where we need to be, and we need to continue to work together. So we are committed to providing not only resources to our members, but we provide resources to other businesses as well. And we encourage people to become chamber members, because we become that much stronger when we work together. And we have a lot of benefits for local businesses, especially small businesses who do need support and do need help. Our service businesses, sometimes and our at-home businesses sometimes aren't always talked about because we don't see them. People work from home or people work from a shared office space, and they do what they do best, whatever their service is. And they become kind of anonymous somewhere in there, but we do see them, and we do have a good deal of service businesses, whether it be financial or other, in the chamber, who come to meetings and who do network and who do say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and which is a good thing. Our advocacy goes across the board. And what I mean by that is we see everyone. We understand that we have a large Latino community here. We see them. We know sometimes there's a language barrier. We understand that. We communicate as best we can, and we encourage people to jump on board with us. And sometimes there is the fear factor, whether we're dealing with people maybe who aren't citizens and want to open a business, or the fear factor of not becoming legitimate as we understand and know it as business owners. You're getting paid in cash. You can't get paid in cash your whole life and make it. And that's what we try to say, is you have to legitimize yourselves, legitimize your family, and make a positive contribution to the community. And those are the things we help people do. And a lot of those conversations are in public. They're had behind closed doors because people are afraid. But I will tell you, we do advocate. We advocate for everyone. So our Latino community, we're addressing many of their issues through the Latino Coalition that we started this year. We did have a financial workshop, which was sponsored by Valley Bank, and they have plenty of grant funded programs for our businesses, and we started a nice relationship there. And they do have many Spanish speaking people on their staff, which is helpful, which then coupled us with some of the SBA, Small Business Administration, Small Business Development Center, and so on. We had people actually coming to that first meeting from the Bronx. which was pretty neat. And it was a nice group of people that came together. We had about 20 people at the first meeting, and I'm sure we're going to do more work with them as time goes on. We're doing work with our coalitions within our mission, also having to do with health and fitness. We do have a huge holistic group here, and not only in Ossining proper, greater Ossining, and within the county. And those people are all finding each other. As a matter of fact, I think this Saturday there's another holistic market over at Bethany Arts, and they've been great in sponsoring those people. And Jen, I think you, and with your business, I think you've attended a few of those as well in what you do. So kudos to you. That's good stuff. Our networking, and networking goes beyond Ossining. We reach out to all of Westchester. We had a Westchester networking event in the spring. I think we had about 125 people that came throughout the county. It was great. And then we had our food people, some of our food truck people come, and they actually cooked that night and showed other chambers and other people what they do. And we did have Ossining people there as well, Ossining foodies. So you know how we feel about our food, and about what we do at River Jam and what we do at the fair. And I think that we're going to continue to educate people on, if you want to open up a food truck business, or you want to be part of what is happening in the events that are happening, which is a great networking and marketing opportunity. We can teach you how to open up a business, a food truck business, and we're going to call it Food Truck 101, actually. And some of the foodies themselves are going to help teach other people who are in the restaurant business to be able to open up a food truck and what that takes. And it's hard work. It's not an easy task. Martha, if we go to the next one, our partners. Yeah. Over the years, we certainly have developed many partnerships in different areas. We help each other either in kind, or there are sponsorships and donations, but there's also an understanding of what each other's mission is. And if we can help each other achieve each other's mission and be able to make it a win-win for everyone, that's what we do. And this is just a few of our partners, and certainly we can drill this down into specific programming that we do. But I think that just by looking at this list, you see there are varied people, there are varied areas. It's not only the financial people who certainly sponsor events and such, but it's a way of us all to possibly work together and open up a venue and find commonalities to be able to help each other achieve our goals. Thanks. Some of our key accomplishments is the next slide. And this is something you could look at along with what I'm going to talk about a little later on. People ask, well, what actually does the chamber do? We see you at the fair, we see you at River Jam, we see you at all these events, but what else do you do? And by the way, what are you doing with all that money? I'm going to get to the money part in a minute because I think that's important. Like any other nonprofit, money comes in, money goes out. You spend money to survive and succeed. You spend money to enrich other people. That's what nonprofits do. There's very little profit. That's why it's a nonprofit. There's very little profit that happens. Money comes in, money goes out. Just a little bit about some of our key accomplishments over time. COVID-19, and I don't know if you're aware about what happened during COVID. We did get some grant money. We got money from the county for two different earmarked reasons. One was for meals. It's called the Community Meals Program. We received $20,000 in the Community Meals Program. What we did is we turned that around into employing our restaurants basically for that period of time. We were able to give out well over 1,000 meals. Anyone would like to see the list of restaurants that we did partner with, I certainly am happy to share it. And those meals were actually either distributed as meals or as gift cards to go to restaurants and either put it towards your bill or to put it towards takeout or any way you'd like to feed your family. And they were distributed through Galata House, through Kemi's program, Kemi Pogue's program. And there was one other that Neighbors Link also gave out the gift cards. And the gift cards were a little bit easier than the meals themselves, because people could come at will and spend that money at the different restaurants at their leisure as needed. We provided PPE when there was a shortage. It was that was given to us by the county executive's office. We set up shop right in the chamber parking lot, invited any business that wanted to come that was short on PPE, and we gave out boxes and boxes of masks, hand sanitizer and such. And that was George Latimer's office. And, you know, we thank them for their ongoing support. We also ran workshops for our businesses at the time. Anybody who wanted to attend the workshop or even just talk about what they were experiencing, talk about helping each other, talking about strategies moving forward. And that worked out pretty okay. Some of the programs that we have run and will continue to run in partnership with NU Builds, Business Basics, branding, and any targeted conversations, especially around social media and digital presence. It seems to be an anomaly. Sometimes people don't understand the power of social media, how to really use social media properly and get into the analytics of social media to make it work for you. It really is a dedication to be able to do this. And thank God we have other people showing us how. New committees coming on: events committee, membership committee, legislative committee. Legislative committee will be to certainly talk to you, talk to the village about issues of concern, about issues of how we can help, and sometimes get out into the community in places maybe that you can't get out to, and talk to people and just have conversations. Everyone knows here the word travels very fast around Ossining, and sometimes it's not the right word. Well, a lot of times it's not the right word, let's be honest. So, anybody who can advocate and put out the right word, we're willing to work with, and certainly give them the proper information. Museum in the Streets. Museum in the Streets was created many years ago by Miguel Hernandez. Miguel Hernandez. Originally created a museum in the streets. And if you walk around Austin, you see these really nice signs, placards almost on poles, and they're talking about different history within Ossining. I believe there are 21 different historical places that Museum in the Streets actually targets. What we did was we actually digitized it for people. So we worked with a gentleman by the name of Eric Feinstein, who actually is a citizen here in Ossining. He owns an app company called Otocast, OTOCAST, which is something you just pull up on your phone. And he actually does this with other areas as well, and other towns and villages. And we decided this time, let's start with something that we already have. We knew we had Museum in the Streets, so let's eventize it. Let's get it digitized. And you can actually pull it up on Otocast. It's free. Whether you're a Google person or an Apple person, pull it up. And you can just follow the entire tour. It actually is narrated by Johnny G, who has a wonderful speaking voice. And Johnny will take you through each station. If you want to actually do the tour and walk through the streets when it's warmer out and stop at a restaurant or spend money, that's the idea. Eventize it, get people out and about, get people spending money in our stores, in our restaurants, checking out all of Ossining, what Ossining has to offer. We do a good deal of marketing. Our marketing, just to let you know, we had just this year over 57,000 email sends to either our, and that's through our constant contact programs. That is actually not only community people, but also businesses. 57,000 email sends is pretty impressive for a small chamber of commerce. And we'll continue to do that. Austeningevents.com, if you go to that, you could also pick that up on your tablet or on your phone. Austeningevents.com was something that NU Builds came to us about and said, hey, we've been looking into this community calendar. We want to get people all on the same page. We want to let everybody know what's going on, but we don't have the money to do it. Will the chamber pick it up? And I without even checking with the board at that minute, I said, I'm going to say absolutely, but let me check. And it was unanimous. So austinevents.com does exist, and we would like more people to use it to their advantage. Anybody could use it. You guys could use it to put your meetings on. Certainly, and it is a place where we do have a great deal of visitation. And the great part about it, if you know anything about the analytics, it does have a good reach. We do get a lot of hits. When you post on there, you get a lot of hits. If you could raise your SEO, your search engine optimization, you're in a good place, especially something for free that you don't have to pay for. So it certainly is worth it. We now have a state-of-the-art website. We've rebranded, certainly please visit. It's still somewhat in beta, but very workable. New chamber directory, and a lot of good things happening on that website. And it's very informative and it's nice to look at. We eventually will hopefully be opening a store on the chamber website where some of our members can sell on the website. And that would be another venue for them as a revenue stream. Our events, we all know the big ones, the fair, River Jam, Spooktacular. We had over 1,000 people this year. We're working out, every year we learn something new. We work out the kinks from the previous year and we implement it for the next year. Or someone comes back and says, hey, how about trying this? And we talk about it. And we really do take it to heart. So some of the larger events, I think, have become larger events out there too, which leads me to the next point, which is tourism and visitation. Our town, our village has become a destination place for many people. They love coming here for our events. Our events are well run, they are well attended, and people walk away feeling really good about being here. And I have to tell you that let's talk about the village. First, as far as the village fair is concerned, we bring in close to 5,000 people from all over. Not only do the visitors talk to each other, but so do the vendors. They come from many different places and they say to us, this is the best fair around. It's well run, it's eclectic, it's multicultural, the food is amazing. We love the stores. It looks like a movie set downtown. And that's what we get. And we're going to come back and go to this restaurant, and we're going to come back and try that store. And this is what we get. This is economic development. An infrastructure is one thing, but when we get people to come here and say good things about where we are and what we're doing, that is economic development at its essence. And if we miss that boat moving forward, because we're stuck in what we've always done, we're going to be at a big loss. Tourism can happen. Visitation can happen. It can happen by doing exactly what we've been doing and ramping it up a little bit and talking about it. Eventizing some of the simplest things can bring people here. The River Jam, in my opinion, not because we run it and not because it's Ossining. I go to a lot of different concerts up and down the Hudson River. We run the best concert along the Hudson River. I'll tell you that right now. We run the best concert series. People love to come here. They come from the Bronx. They come from Brooklyn on the train. They come from Pelham. They come from all the way up Beacon and Poughkeepsie, up and down the train line. They have their beach chairs. They're ready to sit and ready to have a good time. They're here at 3 o'clock to get a good spot, right on the grass. We're doing something right. We're doing good things. And these are the things we need to keep putting out there to people, because people talk. So when we do the bigger things, as far as tourism is concerned, visitation is concerned, and, you know, I love New York and historic Hudson River towns and all that, and who eventually will see the good things that we're doing, will pick us up. That's the economy right there. That's a very big part of the economy. And we can't miss that boat. We need to keep going. We need to keep capitalizing on the good things that we do. As simple as the Spooktacular is, and as off the beaten path as it is, I can't tell you how many people found us this year. It was well over 1,000 people. People came and went. There were people from Connecticut. There were people from Poughkeepsie that came. There were people who didn't want to go to some of the larger events that were going on the same day because they didn't want the huge crowds, or they came to our event and then went in costume to the next event. It was a big thing to do. And they said, please do this again next year because it's going to be even bigger and better. We know it. So again, let's capitalize on those things and keep going. And I'd love to continue to have that conversation, you know, moving forward. Martha, next one. The financials, just like any other nonprofit, our financials are on our website. There are balance sheets. There are 990 forms. There are no secrets. We are transparent. That's where they are. Money comes in, money goes out. We're a nonprofit. Just to break it down so simply, probably, you know, our biggest expense is operations, like any other business. We have rent to pay. We have cut our rent by almost 75% by moving to where we are. A smaller office, a smaller space. We're able to share internet in this space. It's costing us not even, I would say, a quarter of what it was costing us, bless you, on our own. Insurance, need I say more? Insurance is insurance. We will pay it. We'll pay a lot for it. For right now, any events that we run, we now have to not only have a certificate of insurance, but we need to have event insurance, which for the larger event, which is the Village Fair, costs us probably close to $2,000 just for that day. Same thing with Spooktacular this year. I think it was $1,200. So no more through insurance companies. You just get your COI and thank you very much. Doesn't happen that way anymore. You're running the event, here's your insurance, it costs you a few $1,000s. So for the Village Fair, just to give you an idea, between paying the event fees, the insurance, and anything else, that's before we even run the event, we're about $6,000 in the hole before we even get started. So where does all the money go? I know that question keeps coming up. The money goes into running the event. The money goes into the things we need to do, run a successful event. And then we make a little bit more money in the next event to pay. We just keep going and it keeps going. And like anything else, we have staff and salary, we have printing, we have digital and website fees, maintenance, things like that. When we do run programming, obviously, we need to advertise. We need social media. We need design. We need graphic design. We need printing. We pay for the Ossining events calendar, which is $2,500 a year. There's advertising in this, staff salary. Somebody has to run the programming, right? You know, unless you're in Stop and Shop and that little robot that goes around and, you know, runs into you every once in a while. Somebody needs to run the programming. You need people. You need to pay people. So I think I kind of covered a little bit about money in, money out. But we run this chamber on approximately a $50,000 a year budget. $50,000 a year budget, which is kind of unheard of. It's run on volunteerism for the most part. It's run on sweat and blood. It's run on dedication. That's how this chamber runs. Moving forward, in what's next, which is the next slide, but Martha's gone. We want to, that's okay. We want to expand our reach. We want to further relationships with people, with other businesses, with our community, especially the diversity in our community. And we want to represent the needs of people. That's why we're here. We want to identify how the business community can further benefit from our services and what services we need to offer and what that looks like. Right? I'm always an advocate of something called the ADDIE model: assess, design, develop, implement, evaluate. That's how you run it. That's with anything you do. You assess, you design, you develop, you implement, and you evaluate what you're doing. And the next time you come back and you do it better. We would like to increase revenue, not only through membership, but also through grants. There's a lot of grant money out there. There are quite a few grants that should be part of what we do. And we're not going after that money. And we should, because we qualify for it. So what does that look like? That looks like someone has to write the grant. Someone has to run the grant. People get paid to do this. You know, even if it's ourselves, even if it's someone we hire, it has to be managed. We have reports to fill out. We have people to report to. So then what you want to do is be able to get that money again next year and prove that you hit your benchmarks, that you did what you said you were going to do, and move forward from there. We want to continue to pinpoint the areas of need, but we want to further implement initiatives and events that are relevant to the needs of the community, relevant to the need of the changing business landscape, relevant to us as Ossining, Greater Ossining. And we realize with any business, there's an ongoing internal review process. How did we do it? Did we do it well? What didn't we do well? How can we do it better the next time? And, you know, we talk to a lot of you. A lot of you run businesses. Many of you running the town. You know, you have a budget much bigger than ours. We learn from each other. It's a good thing. It's okay. That's all good stuff. And finally, and I certainly don't want to read you a list of 3 pages, but the accomplishments of the chamber, you know, and this is just off the top of my head of things that we've done. There's a list of 35 things here, but, you know, our latest couple of really good fun things is we launched an Oh What Fun holiday campaign for our members. And we're paying a social media marketing person who's really good and is trying to engage businesses as best as possible, as best as they would like to participate. It's free to them. You just have to send her pictures and send her whatever it is, whatever you're running for the holidays, and it's going to run through December 31st. And she's put some really good stuff out there. And if you do own a business and you are a chamber member, I would encourage you to jump on board with that. We're also going to have one of our chamber members, another marketing company, Upper Marketing, go to different businesses and take Instagram reels and put something together for the holidays. So that's free advertisement as well. On Instagram, the chamber has well over 2,000 followers. You know, certainly that's pretty good for a small chamber. Please, if you don't follow us, please do. It would be wonderful. And there are certain other things that we're doing as well. One of the bigger things is what you have in front of you right now is the Ossining Membership Directory and Visitors Guide. It's the first one of its kind. Next year, it'll be even bigger and better. There are a lot of contributors to that guide. Some local people and, you know, Joyce Cole, our historian, and so many different people and so many different businesses of things to do here. The idea is to get people here. There's also a digitized version of this. It's called Chamber View. You could actually look it up online. It's Ossining Chamber View. And, you know, please feel free to take a look at it. It really is actually nice. It's pretty impressive for the first time out. It's inclusive. It's not perfect, but it's good. In my opinion, it's good. And it's something that took 7 months in the making with a lot of people involved. So I encourage you to take a look at that. I have a bunch here for your office. We have quite a few boxes at our office. You need any more, we'll drop them off. And yeah, any questions? Any comments? Any thoughts? All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see everybody at the tree menorah lighting on Thursday. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Thank you for joining us. All right. Next, we have Mr. Mario Velardo, our Parks Foreman, head of our parks, who has been working really hard since Thanksgiving when we had some trees come down in Cedar Lane. And Prue, so you've got some,
Been a while since I've been on
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that. It's nice to see you.
It's easier on some.
Yeah, not for us. Can you hear him?
Just see if the green light.
See if you can,
There you
can you turn it, slide it up toward you. Okay, there you go.
go. All right, since last update in August where we left off.
Mary, you have
Um,
pictures? Oh, okay.
What do you want to do? That was last.
Okay,
Wanna
go ahead.
Talk about that now or?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I went back to as far as August where we left off. So the month of August, we were getting ready to start the new playground at Gerlach. Me and my guys, we knocked down the old playground. We graded the area, got it prepped for the playground installers. Later in September, we were back at there, building a retaining wall. We had our, as Gail mentioned, our Friday night concerts all the way, started the 4th of July. They went all the way till September 8th. August 4th, we had the Firemen's Parade at Lewis Angle Park. All throughout August, we were keeping up with our regular mowing schedule. This year was a crazy year with all the rain. We didn't catch a break. Grass grew like crazy, but we kept up with it. Marking up our fields, baseball, softball, soccer, and football. We spent a day and a half cleaning the beach. And this year we actually pulled some of the knotweed out.
Thank you.
The last week of August into the first week of September, we're back at the ball fields, on the outside of the ball fields, Harder and Finch. We had to plant grass and grade the areas around all the new concrete slabs for the bleachers, which we just put out last month. Then we're going into September, yeah. So 9/11, we cleaned up our monuments down at the waterfront, planted mums. We set up one of our concrete tables and the concrete benches we made, sitting outside our shop for a while. But the rainy days we had, we took advantage, we finished, we stained them. We were sick and tired of moving it around, so we're like, let's just go install it. So we installed it one day. That same day, we went out to Dakota. We picked up all our supplies for the wall at Gerlach. Like I mentioned, 9/18 was the first day we started actually putting the bleachers together. We had 8 of them to put together. So each rainy day we took advantage. We pulled them into the shop, put them together. They sat outside our shop for a while. And like I said, we just put them out last month. That was 9/18. Yeah. So then September 19th, we actually finished the wall at Gerlach. The wall runs along the pathway that leads to the bathroom from the pavilion and the backside. We had to grade the hill because we actually lowered the playground to make it more ADA compliant. They also added some lower stuff to more for like ADA compliant stuff. Same thing is going to be happening to Ryder Park next year. We actually just got the playground delivered last month, so we have it in storage. So in the spring, the plan is to also install a new playground at Ryder Park and make it more ADA compliant, and that's going to have a port in place surface. So that'll be nice to have that done. One last thing we have to do in the spring at Gerlach is just plant grass. It was late in the year, and obviously it was almost first, second week in October with all the rain we were having, leaves were falling. It was best not to plant the grass, so we'll be back in the spring just to plant the grass around the new playground. We got new food scrap containers. A lot of them are just damaged over the years. So we set them all up and took away all the broken ones. The 9/29 rainstorm, we had some minor damage. The Collier Field and the Harder Field just had some clay wash off of it. We had some more damage down at the waterfront, the boat canoe parking lot, which is gonna be getting paved hopefully in the spring. As in August, same thing September, we kept up with our regular daily park maintenance, the fields, the mowing. We actually started mulching the leaves, which we've been doing now for more than a couple of years, but we don't really pick up leaves anymore. We mulch in place, we blow them around, just let them break down, do their thing. October 3rd, we were back at Gerlach to make a concrete pad outside the ramp. Then a couple days later, with the help of Victoria from the highway department, we connected the walkway to the playground with asphalt. We also assisted the cemetery with some burials. We had to help with some footings for the monuments. October 11th, we were getting, I was getting more stone ready for Sally Swope. We're back at Sally Swope. What was left there, we had to build the wall. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the park at the left of the entrance. There's a big hole there with 2 or 3 pipes that come in. So on the one side, we had to build a retaining wall with just like all the stones that we did throughout the trails of that park. We had the stones saved from jobs digging throughout the years and just putting them aside, saving them. So we had the stone there. We did have to buy trap rock. We didn't have trap rock, so we did that. And then where the wall met the parking lot, we did a post and rail fence. It was like 3 sections, and then we placed a big boulder right at the entrance. So obviously, if a car is going to go in there, they're going to hit the big boulder. Hopefully, the car doesn't go in there. Hopefully, I can get there back soon just to finish up the trap rock and clean up that area. We also cleared the trees of the vines and some invasives that lined the other side where we did the wall. October 20th, we started cleaning the parking lot at Ryder Park. As Gail mentioned, the spectacular event we had there. On Ryder Park, the parking lot pavilion is kind of like our yard where we keep all our stuff, and it got messy. So we spent 3-4 days to clean it. We had some metal, we scrapped it. A lot of wood, which we actually lined the trail, the new trail connector we did where the bridge is off the Harder Field. The event went well, except for we had an issue with the bathrooms just backing up a couple times. We painted the flagpole at the cemetery. Ryder Park this year, they had a veterans tournament, a memorial tournament. It was a weekend 3-day event. All the fields were used. It was the first time the Finch Field was actually used this year. Just a couple weeks ago, we went to Rise all our bathrooms, the sprinklers, the spray park. We took out the docks. We blew out all the pavilion gutters, our shop gutters, and now we have gutters on the ice house. When they fixed the roof, they added gutters in the front. Martha had up there the Cedar Lane damage. Thanksgiving morning, we had 2 trees come down and knock down our wires along the parking lot where the art center is at Cedar Lane. Damaged one of the poles and the transformer. It started a small fire. When we had it over the radio, the fire department responded quickly. They put it out. With that being said, like I said, all the wires came down, knocked out the power. So
There you go. You can see the
Oh,
trees
yeah.
that fell.
So
So
that-
those are the 2 trees. The one in the back came and took the one in the front.
which this has happened in that park before. I mean, when we redid all the work there at the art center, it was bigger than what happened just now. I think we had to replace like 3 poles, the transformer again. Over the years, we had some more on that. You can see the hill. I mean, you don't see how steep the hill is, but that whole hill, the wires run all the way to the ice house. This is where that happened is the far
You
corner.
can go
So
to
the
the
art
next-
center, if you're looking at it, would be more to the left.
So that's the,
That's the
Oh,
linden,
next to
right,
the-
that's the transformer that got damaged. The linden tree right in front of it actually had to come down because the transformer that was on there is no longer to code. They had to put a 6-foot bar on it. So the new bar, the wires would be hitting the tree. Plus those are just damaged poles and then some trees that we took down. We also protecting the ice house now since the roof was fixed, which years ago, big limb came down. We actually finally, after so many years, got the roof fixed. So we ended up having to take the whole tree down because by the time you cut that limb
Yeah.
and the limb that was in front, you were pretty much left with nothing.
There's the tree.
That's the tree. And then looking at that hill, a lot of those trees had storm damage from over the years. So after clearing those out, you were left with like 600-foot pine trees at the top of the hill.
You can hit them.
They were more exposed and even it's not a good picture, but even the
Next.
day, one of the days you were there, you just very light wind and you just, those trees were just moving. So the tree guys were there. We decided just to clear the hill and prevent any future damage from happening. You can see the greenhouse now. So the next couple of days, we're going to spend at the greenhouse, and actually trees have grown in the greenhouse.
wow.
It's actually tomorrow, the ones that are in, so we did some clearing outside of it today. But you can see some of them if you look at the top. Yeah, they're actually in there. So tomorrow we're gonna hoist it. We came up with a plan. We found a tree where he actually, the tree guy's gonna put a pulley up there. He's gonna be cutting, and with the excavator, we're gonna hoist them.
Carefully.
Yeah, so that we don't do any more damage. That there is some damage that the greenhouse did sustain in the backside, like trees already fell into it. These are things we inherited. It's just years ago we got this park and we had the house. Unfortunately, 2 years ago we had to knock it down. It was just beyond repair, and that's me, Larry, the guys, Eduardo.
That's the
Jose.
guys that did all the hard work
Um,
all week.
the trees that were good, like the linden tree there and a lot of the pines, we kept. Hopefully we could repurpose them. I know we're up to a lot of trees, so the way we've been doing it, a few years ago, we had gotten chainsaw mills. So we've been milling. It's good if you're gonna do a couple trees, 2-3 trees, but when you're up to like 40-50 trees to mill, it's a process. But we have been repurposing wood that we've cut down in the parks over the years. We've been making new garden beds for the garden. Last year, we were able to make a whole 16-foot by 4-foot compost bin, all out of milled lumber that we milled. It's not like we mill all the time. We mill maybe in February is really the time we do it when it's our downtime. And the thing is, it's just, I know you wanted me to talk about the milling.
Did you find
but
out if you
it's-
can rent one?
I did. I called 4 different places today. Nobody really rents them. You're better off finding someone that owns one and see if they'll actually come either rent it or mill for you. Or I don't know, cost wise, it probably costs a lot to actually have it trucked out. I mean, because we kept some of the logs I kept barely fit in our truck. They're 14, 16 feet long.
Okay.
But that's just so you could rip it into long pieces of wood. But there are a couple guys. One guy I came in contact with that would probably rent this milling machine for like a week or so.
I heard that there's a possibility that there are people that would want to buy some of the wood.
Yeah.
And maybe we can sell some of them. I mean, we have so much right now.
Oh, no, yeah.
So maybe
it's-
we can sell some of it and use that to finance the mill for the furniture that we want to.
Well, it also depends on how
Or
far you
whatever
want to
you
go
wanna
with
do.
it. I mean, it's not like we're gonna become furniture makers.
No.
I mean.
We're not going to become furniture makers. At
I mean,
Keith's
but
rate.
garden beds, rough cut lumber, I mean, like what we're doing, it's fine, but. I mean, you could probably get into like making benches and picnic tables, which it would work great, but. It's hard to actually justify, I mean, you're not gonna be milling every single day.
No.
So if you have someone, I think, I mean, it's just if you could rent one for a week or two, like we rent the topsoil screener. We rent it for a week, we screen all the topsoil we have. And it works great. You don't
Right.
have to own it so it's something, and you're repurposing the wood. It's a shame, especially that linden tree, you can see the color. I mean, to let that go to waste and rot, it's a shame. So hopefully we could reuse it and put it into something back in the park or whatever it is. It's picnic table, bench, garden, bed. That's it.
Mario, you said that the transformer was out of date, the other one, isn't there one next to the house too? Was there another one on the
No.
park property?
No,
Transformer?
that's the only high voltage that comes in. No,
That's
that's
the
it.
only-
Yeah,
that's all
everything else
transformer.
is, when we
And
did the
with
work
Amber.
years ago, we put everything else underground. That part was too expensive at the time, so we never went through with putting it underground. But everything else from behind the ice house to like the garage pavilion, that's all underground, yeah. The electrician, the high voltage, Danko is the contractor we're using for the putting back of the lines and transforming the poles. They started today. Hopefully by Friday, we should have power.
Do we need a new pole? or
They
two?
already, yeah, they put it in already. 'Cause by the
Okay.
time there were so many holes in it and it was just
Great.
need to be replaced.
So by Friday, they expect?
They're saying
Good, let's
the
make
weather,
sure.
it's not supposed to rain, so they should be there.
Okay. Martha, can you put up the picture of the empty hill one more time?
While I do that, I just want to make a note that somebody has their hand raised, but this is a work session, so we don't have public comments at the moment.
Right. Right, so. One of the things, we need to, one of the things, I wanted the board to see and talk about was the repurposing of the wood and the possibility of selling, go back to, yeah. The other thing is there are grant opportunities available now to do a planting and replace what we lost with different native plantings. So I think that we should look into that. So there are, I talked to the grant writers, there are grant opportunities to look into to see if we can save the greenhouse. And there are other ones that will help us fund native plantings to stabilize the hill and plant it so that the invasive species, which are always lingering around, don't come back and take over the park as they had been. I think the reason a lot of those trees that had come down were dead was because of the invasive vines that had gotten a hold of them up on the hill there. So I think that's really what caused the problem. So I will thank Mario and his crew for going up and taking the vines off some of the remaining trees so that they can have a chance and not damage any more
Yeah,
of
that
the
was one
wires.
thing I forgot. Yeah, a lot of the pines, especially up in the far corner on top of the hill. There was one that we left. It's hopefully it looks like it's on its way out, but it was just covered in vines, and some of the vines we cut today were just so massive. There is one tree on the corner. The Con Ed rep was going to call the hospital because it is on their property. You do need 10-foot clearance, and it's right on the line. So he was going to call them and see if we didn't touch the tree, just because we saw the marker. It's just side of it. So the Con Ed guy was going to call them and just tell them that if they want to do something with the tree, the town, not the town, but they're going to be, since it's on notice, they'll be, if something does happen, they're liable for any damage.
Good.
If they don't want to.
I don't want to pay
or
for
have
it.
us do it. But even up like where the greenhouse is, the vines, we just on an oak tree today, I said it was covered in maybe like 8 to 10 vines. So hopefully by doing that, it does have some damage. It's to the back of the greenhouse. So hopefully it makes it. Another thing we were talking about today, I know you said plantings, but I know there was word about putting solar panels on the roof, but what about putting solar panels on that hill since it's so steep? Because now if you're sitting up there, like right in front of the greenhouse, what we did today too is Alvin and I, it's amazing, that greenhouse. I mean, I know there's pictures, I believe that guy has, Steve Worthy has.
I have
the
some,
Crest family.
oh, I don't have pictures of it.
But
in the table.
outside on this side, the hillside, they have with concrete like foundations with angle iron, and inside the greenhouse, they're still there. They have windows, so they must have used that to start their seeds. So we cleaned that out today. And then we were sitting, and you're sitting there, and it's the side the sun rises, it's facing that hill. Like it's amazing. Like back then, I mean, this goes back to what, 1940, I believe, 1950.
Much further back, I
Yeah.
believe.
It's just to have that,
Possibly
the
1840.
stonework. I mean, it's amazing what they did. But it's just something we got stuck with, and it's in our park. It's one of those things. It's, what do you do?
I have a question. When you're talking about plantings, is that, you mean like replacing actual trees, or what do you mean by plantings?
Well, it depends on what we want to talk about with the greenhouse. I don't think we want anything that's going to grow tall enough to fall again. So, I mean, native ground covers, native shrubs, things that will help the pollinators.
Don't you need certain plants too to keep that hill, keep the soil there and all that?
Right, well, right now the tree stumps are still there, and the root systems will hold that while we decide what ground cover and what other plants will hold on to that.
And then Mario, if we did put solar panels, because the greenhouse is not a usable property at the moment, like how would we reroute the electricity that was collected? You know, where, excuse me, where would it be used?
Oh, he's saying put the solar panels
On
on
the
the
hill,
steep hill.
on the-
Yeah.
not on the-
Right, but then,
I don't know
battery
how,
storage, though, no battery storage, just the supply, and give it back to the grid.
I don't know how that works. I don't know. It was just a thought because you're seeing solar panels
Yeah,
everywhere,
yeah.
especially on fields and stuff. So it's really an unusable area. It's facing, I mean, now that it's full sun pretty much all day long. If plantings don't, it's just, I mean, obviously whatever you do is gonna be low growing. I mean, it's to cover that whole hill. I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
Okay.
It was just one of those things we just.
right,
were
so
talking about.
we, two things. One, we have, application in for an urban forestry grant where T-Town will partner with us on native plantings and identifying invasive species, which you took a lot of them out. Thank you.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of not
And
in the corner.
so we have, an agreement where if that grant comes in, which we will know in a few weeks, where they will advise us on plantings. And we also have our own Donna Sharrett, who is very knowledgeable about these subjects, so we can probably work with her too. And also, we have an application in through the state, Senator Harcum. It's the electrification grant. We do have solar panels proposed on the Cedar Lane Art Center roof. So there will already be wires, and there will already be substructure there. So that perhaps we'll speak to whoever wins the bid about can we expand that system and what would that look like? And who would pay for it? That isn't us. So
that was my next question is.
Yeah,
Like, just
there
like
are
there's-
grant opportunities available.
Right, yeah.
Any other questions? Comments? Anyway, thank you again for really, you've been working very hard all week. And not only did you take down the trees and, work with the arborist to identify and, save us a lot of money by working in conjunction with the tree company, to handle some of these heavy logs that would have cost us a lot more if we hadn't had your expertise and your guys working. But also for identifying the invasive species that were causing the problems and getting them out of the area. I mean, I was really very happy with, your knowledge and it's growing every year of identifying what's going to be a problem, what's causing the problem, and stepping up and taking care of it without, So I really appreciate all the work that you did for these last, 10
Week.
days?
Yeah, since
Um,
it's Monday after Thanksgiving.
And you missed the party. So, we'll
Well,
have to talk about
Tricia,
it.
yeah, well,
But, and you were working on getting the classes back, and I know the art center, people who use the art center appreciate you, the dedication to getting them back up and running as soon as possible. So just thank you, and thank you for coming and,
no problem.
and presenting.
Thanks, man.
No problem. Thank you. Happy night. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Okay, we have, so anyway, that wraps up our town board work session. We are going to adjourn to executive session for advice of counsel and contracts.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.